I want to ask about my favorite person, little Taimur Ali Khan. How is he dealing with Big Brother duties?
Jay finds him very funny. So he's very protective and he makes him laugh a lot.
Oh, and also it's 20 years of Dil Chahta Hai before I wrap up. I asked Farhan, what if the three of them were to come together 20 years later? You think it would make an exciting story?
Yeah, but it'll have to be totally different in the sense that, the confused looking Samir should be the most sorted because I think he was the easiest going. So he should be nicely, happily married with everything okay. And the others should be like, one should be an alcoholic, I think. And the other should be head of this. Yeah, you'd have to develop the personalities and make it more, find out where it's going.
For all film-related interviews, reviews and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
It's absolutely a pleasure to meet you. And Saif, I was reading a comment which came for you, which said, a man who quotes Aristotle and AC/DC in the same breath is an underrated genius. And I wanted to tell that person, high five to that.
Yeah, well, great. I don't know how much I can quote Aristotle, but a bit, yeah. I mean, when I studied some Aristotle and studied some AC/DC too. I mean, they're both great.
Absolutely. And underrated genius, I agree with that too. So it's been, 3 decades in the industry now?
Yeah, a little more than...
Yes, and I can't box you in any category because in the last few years, your choice of roles, for the lack of a better word, are not conservative, So how does it work with you? Is it impulse or is it instinct?
I mean, they're the same thing, aren't they? Almost.
They're the same thing. How does it work? Is it impulsive?
I think it's. I mean, you try and not get too. The danger is, I suppose, when you are producing, and you can do anything, and you say, okay, what should I do? Should I do Agent Vinod or whatever? But otherwise, if you're a little detached, and when you get offered something, you just. And it's quite an exciting time because there are a lot of interesting offers and you just choose, what of that is the most dramatic and the most fun to do. So it's an instinctive thing. Can you just see the world? Can you see yourself in the world? And is it an interesting situation that you're in? Because it's quite a long time that you've got to get involved in a movie. And at this stage, time is relevant. And how do you want to spend that amount of time? Like, what are you going to do? So it's instinct. It's just, saying, no, I don't want to do that. Or yeah, I want to do this, I guess,
And also you said that, you have to break through your own insecurities and fears. What
you said earlier, like about Aristotle and AC/DC and all that. I mean, I think, with the privilege of a, half an education, and a good half though, we were exposed to a lot of things, where I remember a friend of mine telling me he's got Chopin and AC/DC on a playlist, and that shouldn't be surprising to understand a bit of wisdom or to know, have read a bit of philosophy or without being too boring or pseudo about it. But I mean, I think I have got quite a colorful set of eclectic experiences and likes. So I'm happy somebody noticed, but it is like that. Sorry.
No, that's what I said. You said the whole idea, because someone who has chosen to chase characters over the stardom, I would say many shades of Saif Ali Khan. How does it work for you? I mean, you said the idea is to break through your own fears and insecurities.
Right.
Yeah. So how does it work with you?
I don't know how it happened. It's just kind of an evolving thing. And maybe there was a time, where, and I think it has changed. I don't know. But I don't want to give in to the kind of vanity that I might have felt tempted to do earlier. And vanity and insecurity, I mean, that, I want to say certain things or look a certain way in my whatever. And I think I've always been like that. Like, I mean, you don't do Omkara if you're worried about looking a certain way, So it's kind of, you play the character, and the idea is to disappear into the character and to find out what that guy is, and do various things, and then put all your energy into kind of finding out what makes that dramatic and how can we have lots of fun. So I think if I'm getting offered a variety, then also I can commit more, because I'm not worried about getting typecast into a certain zone, and insecurities don't come in anymore, because later on, you can be a good guy and then you're a bad guy. Okay, so does that answer the question?
Absolutely. And now coming to
Yeah.
Bhoot Police, I mean, you have been the scene stealer. What is it about you and ghosts? And I mean, this is our own Ghostbusters, zombies, and now boots. Have you ever had a paranormal experience?
God, I thought, no, Jesus. No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever had we've tried to call spirits and stuff before, and there's been some spooky rooms I've stayed in. But no, I don't really believe in the paranormal, but I love reading about it, and I find it's a very interesting genre. And I think horror comedies are fab. Of course, you've got to try and find a way of making it original, because so many of our things are looking similar now. But I tell you what it is, which I didn't realize till, Taimur. Like if you have your little family under a razai or something, and you're watching, even on TV, something a little scary, not too scary, it can be quite a family kind of entertainer, bonding experience, which was really enjoyable. And I think there's a magical zone there where you can watch like adventure comedy, and really the beauty of cinema, which has always been a very selfish, alone thing for me, enjoying movies alone. With having a small kid at home kind of really showed me what it could mean to families also. So it kind of opened my eyes in a way. Bhoot Police, yeah, I mean, the zombie thing was a very niche kind of idea that was, I thought, very funny, very funny. So slacker comedy meets, the zombie thing, which has always been a little B movie, independent type small film. I mean, I didn't get paid for that film, which is pretty much how it got made. So that was that. But Bhoot Police is much more commercial. Just a really nice script that I really liked, because it was also funny. And it was also about, something, this belief, non-belief, and the idea that, somebody's got a fake ghost, and actually there's a real ghost as well, was an interesting script for me. I thought it was something that sorry?
No, sorry. I'm sorry, interrupted you.
No, something that'd be fun to do. I just thought, say that again, please.
Your comic timing is impeccable.
Well, I don't know. I keep hearing that, and I don't know what I said a story once. Mr. Yash Chopra told me in my first movie, which he directed. He said, you've got good timing. A lot of work you need on a lot of things, but you've got good timing. So I guess that's something that I've always had.
Definitely. And also with Bhoot Police, we are awaiting a sequel. Also, it's been #1 on the OTT platform, and it's had a digital release. I don't want to get into the theater versus OTT debate at all. But do you feel going forward, it has managed to upend the star system, the whole box office numbers?
I don't know. We should talk about OTT and films, unless it's become boring. But they're different, Like, I think if you do something, you should do it for a fixed audience in mind, like an OTT film. Like, this was not meant to be for OTT. Just luckily we had a platform and everyone made money, and I think it's been a successful thing. But it was meant to be in theaters. Like, it's more collectively. It's a collective experience, to have something that scares you or something that makes you laugh, is best viewed in a theater. I think can be infectious, both those emotions. Like has it upended the star system? Has it? I guess in a way, Like, I mean, depends. I mean, Sacred Games had a lot of people that were great in it that were not technically leading men stars, I mean, And it's done really well for so many people. So it's different. It's different. I mean, I've never really thought about this question. I'm not very good at answering some questions immediately without having thought about them. But I would say, for me, I look at OTT really as an extension of your stardom. And it's like you can get more in depth about the roles you're playing and what you're doing. And for someone who is an actor who's doing, and movies should be for the big screen, if you watch them, I mean, they should be shot a certain way, and they should have a certain idea. What are you trying to do? You're trying to create a collective experience for people sitting there eating popcorn. So you design your shots in a certain way, and the whole movie is made for that platform, whereas this platform is slightly different. And you can have more, whether like that scene in Sacred Games when Kubra is like half naked and she's half man, or I don't know, you see her private parts, and I've never seen anything like that in any cinema in any world. So it was so impressive. But I wouldn't say it's a very theater experience, that, so like that. So I don't know if it's upended a system, but it's created a platform for people to come to work on, which is incredible. And it's giving a lot of, it's like the IPL to cricket, maybe, in a way. I don't know. But the whole, no, that's maybe wrong. But the whole idea, I mean, in the sense that it's given people a lot more work. Yeah, I don't know. I've forgotten what it is. There's so much I can say about it. I mean, the web and whatever.
But you were one of the first few stars who decided to go the digital way, did a web series.
See, sorry, that's the point. I mean, Netflix is, it's a very strong production. Like, they spend on the hardware that makes that system run, Like, you can get a Netflix signal when you can't get other signals. There's a reason when that circle goes boom and that N comes on. I mean, they are revolutionaries. People have always thought that the small screen is less exciting than the big screen, and they changed that.
Yeah,
that is an incredible feat, that they'll put more money into a film with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, which you can't see in the theaters, but it's there. So entertainment has changed, and it's up to the people to capitalize on that. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I got that. And also, do you think actors are going to be a lot more conscious about what they choose to play? Like, as I said, you chased characters over playing that, I should just be the center to, in the film, in the narrative, and everyone else follows me around. Do you think that's going to change now?
I mean, I don't know. I feel that I'm enjoying doing that. And for me, the interest in a movie is to find how to make that character, and I am just beginning to understand how to make it interesting. So I'm very involved with that. And I want to, when I was a kid, I used to watch Al Pacino. I still revere him. And I used to wonder why he's not being more heroic, but he always subverted that instinct to kind of be the star and chose the acting route more. And I think I finally understand why. I think it's just to be more genuine or to be different, but it's tempting to pose. It's tempting to look good and to walk the ramp when you're on screen. But I think, you got to control, I try and control my personal insecurities at that time and just play the role. I can't speak for anyone else. I don't know. No. But it's something I would like to avoid doing, using it as an opportunity to be vain, You should be walking and talking like the guy you're playing.
I totally get that. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the mainstreaming of cancel culture, which seems to be stifling, but I think it's just become a way of life, because anything you say or anything you do, you just could be canceled. And also, as actors, do you think it's going to kind of come in the way of you deciding to play a certain part? What if someone disagrees or not?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we're definitely not. It's frightening, and it's let's see what happens. I mean, but yeah, it's not like, okay, let's be as expressive as we can, or that, you can share any opinions. I mean, it's very clear that just because we speak English does not mean that anything goes. We're not, when it's not like New York or like London, just because we speak the same language. And we have to be careful what we say and do. And that's fine. It's all right. I'm still happy to have a job and to do it. And nobody wants to hurt sentiments, if that's what it's been called. So I'm happy not to hurt sentiments, and we can adjust to that. But let's just hope it doesn't go to an extreme where, freedom of expression is really being curtailed. That would be upsetting, but maybe we'd learn to live with that also. I mean, it's fine.
Maybe we should have our Bhoot Police do some moral policing as well for the cancel committee.
Well, Bhoot Police didn't catch any flack.
No, it did. I said we just need those.
I know. I'm saying Bhoot Police didn't catch any flack. I really thought it might. But that seems to have gone by. Initially, there was a lot of flack. There was some poster that people took offense to. So let's see. Yeah, but it's, it is a cause for concern that so much is causing offense. But what concerns me is that, like, do you give in? Like, are they even trolls, or are they respected citizens? Where, if there's a noise against an ad, the ad is pulled off. So where do you take a stand? Do you say, we don't? But that is really scary. That means if there's any kind of demonstration, you could find yourself in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
And you'll be alone. Nobody will be standing by you. So it's not, it's fine. Everyone's just keeping quiet because that's the only sensible thing to do.
Absolutely. And also it's 20 years of Dil Chahta Hai. Before I wrap up, I asked Farhan, what if the three of them were to come together 20 years later? You think it would make an exciting story?
Yeah, but it'll have to be totally different in the sense that, the confused looking Samir should be the most sorted, because I think he was the easiest going. So he should be nicely, happily married with everything okay. And the others should be like, one should be an alcoholic, I think. And the other should be head of this. Yeah, you'd have to develop the personalities and make it more, find out where it's going. But I think most fun, obviously, is to pick them up at that age. You don't really want to, like, Samir being happily married is quite boring, actually. And the artist going a little crazy, life is a bit too dark. So this was the best time to pick up the story. No, I don't think it's that interesting to tell the story of what happened later. It's what was happening then.
True, I agree. And talking about Dil Chahta 20 years, Saif, is there something that you would want to tell your 20-year-old self today? Today, if you were to see him?
Well, I'd tell him that, absolutely don't worry. Everything is going to be smelling of roses. It's all going to be all right. Don't worry. And try avoid, don't do this and don't do that. I tell him. So try and avoid that, or do this. It'd be like that Back to the Future too, I'd give him a handbook of what to do and what not to do. But basically, it's going to be okay.
Yep. And before I go, I want to ask about my favorite person, little Taimur Ali Khan. How is he dealing with Big Brother duties?
Jay finds him very funny. So he's very protective, and he makes him laugh a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I must say, he is the one who's managed to handle the paps really well. And he really has more swag than anyone else in the family. I'm not wrong in saying.
Yeah, well, great. I hope he makes something of it.
Thank you so much. And before you go, could you recommend 3 books that you've read during this lockdown and you feel all of us should just head to the bookstore and pick them up from the shop?
I like reading ghost stories at night. So I'm reading Ruskin Bond's Ghost Stories of the Raj, which are not bad. A lot of great atmosphere. And any M.R. James ghost stories are amazing. I would strongly recommend that. And as a book, Umberto Eco's The Island of the Day Before, which is also an amazing book. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Anyways, many congratulations for Bhoot Police. Looking forward to Bhoot Police too. Do we have an insight what happens next?
Oh, no, we have no idea. We have to sit down and discuss. But I think a child-friendly action adventure in the supernatural space is a really wonderful way. I mean, Indiana Jones and all that kind of thing is a potential that's very, very exciting. So we haven't met, all of us. We'll have to meet and get onto the same page.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Such a pleasure speaking to you as always. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.